I'm going to try to show a few more features of Tableau. So I am going to link to the Postgres, community assist, username, I think this will all work, PSSW0RD1. So we're linking to the database. I'm hoping that works. It does. Now, one of the things I want to do is to bring in several tables that have relationships with each other. So I'm going to bring in grant application. I'm going to bring in grant type. Those two have a relationship. I'm also going to bring in grant status, and it also has a relationship here. If I update, it will bring in all that information from all of those three tables. So as long as there's a relationship here, you can bring in multiple tables, and it'll do the joins for you. And the spreadsheet will have all of the fields. That gives you a much richer thing to work with. So I'm going to go to the first worksheet, and I am going to do the grant type name, which should be here. I'm going to do that as a column. I think I will also do the grant application date. And I will do for the data, I'm going to also going to do the grant status, if I can find it. A status key, grant type key. I guess I need one other table. So I'm going to go back to the data source, and I'm going to add status. That's also related. I'm going to update that. Then I go back to the table, and now I have the status name again. I have to start doing these again, but I'm going to do the grant application date. I'm going to do the grant type name, and I'm going to do the status. I'm not sure if that's good, but I'm going to then do the grant application amount, and I also want to do the allocation amount. So it didn't treat them, it gave me two charts, but maybe that's okay. So I'm going to do a filter here, and notice it gives me these. I only want to see the ones that are denied or reduced. Okay, so these are the ones that are denied or reduced. It's not showing them side by side, which is what I would like. Not entirely sure I can do that. Maybe get rid of the year. Let's see what happens if I get rid of that. It still does the same thing. It just does the amounts and the thing. So let's just look at the, instead of the grant application, we'll just look at the denied. There's no amount there. The reduced, let's do, we have the status name. I'm going to do a different chart here. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the status name. And we want all of these. We don't want any filter. And then I want the down here, I want, instead of this, wherever it goes, I'm going to count the grant type key, and I want to count it. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to change the measure to a count. So we have denied or reduced. Is it still filtered? Edit filter. I'm going to get rid of, I'm going to add all of them. So we have all of them there. So it shows how many are granted, denied, pending, or reduced. Okay. A couple of things that I want to do with this. Okay, it's a fairly simple chart, but we'll do a couple of others. One is I am going to put the amount, the count on here. So I'm going to put the grant application key on the label, and it gives me the counts. Okay, so there's 1,023 that were granted, 186 that were denied, 24 pending, and 68 reduced. And I'm going to change, so I want to right click on that, and I want to view the data, and you'll see that it shows the data for those. Okay, so, and then the other thing I want to do is I want to, what else do I want to do? Group, create set, annotate, mark label, format. I'll just leave that for right now. We can change the color. I could change the color to green if we want. And I think if I select one of them, I could change the color to blue, while the others, well, they all change. But you can change the colors to do that. Okay. I'm going to do a new worksheet. Okay, so this one I'm going to do with something different. I'm going to, that has grant type name, and that has year, and we want in the, we'll do the final allocation amounts. So we'll just do the final allocation amounts, and we'll change it to a different kind of graph. Let's change it to, well, let's do this. Okay, so it shows the years, and it shows the amounts allocated for each kind in each year. So one of the things, I'm going to do colors. I'm going to edit colors, and it shows me the 2 years. So I think that I want a light, I'm going to select on 2018, and I'm going to do a light blue, and do OK, and it'll change those to a white blue. I'm also going to add a label. So I'm going to add the label the amount. So I'm going to get the grant allocation amount, and I'm going to drag it over label. Notice that it puts those amounts all the way over there. I'm also going to format. And what I want to format are the fields. And I'm going to format on the sum. And one of the things that where it says numbers here, I'm going to change that to currency. And I'm going to let that be. Notice that they're all currency now. Okay. So we've changed the format of that. We've changed the colors. We could do other things with these. I am going to, I think I'm just going to leave this. Well, maybe let's do a annotation here. So I'm going to annotate. Let's do the point, and I'm going to say, I don't know if I annotate this. Let's see what happens. I'm going to say the highest demand. That may actually destroy it though. Let's see. Now, so there it is. And it has an annotation on there, the highest demand. Okay. So we've done a few additional things. We've annotated, we've formatted the numbers, we've changed the colors. There are other things you can do that I think you should be able to explore. We could do other kinds of graphs. I'm going to do another one. I'm going to do the, let's do the grant application. Let's do the status key. Make it a count. So actually we want the status key up here. And then we want just the grant type key, and we want to count these. So I'm going to do measure count, and then what do I don't want the status key actually. I want the status name. Okay, and then let's do one of these, and you can see the the relative amount of what has happened. I am going to, we'll click on these. We want to, let's add some data. So we're going to add the grant allocation amount. So let's do the grant status final allocation. Does that work? It didn't really do anything. So let's take that out. Oh yes, it did. It shows the amount. Though I'm not sure why this isn't numeric, isn't dollars. Everything, the other two are dollars. There, now they're all dollars. Okay, so I think that's all I'm going to do for this video, although there's a lot more that you could do. The next one will work with the dashboard, and we'll work with the story, and also with the graphics, the map. I need to get some data for the map, but we'll do that. Alright, so have fun.